Well, hello. My name is Tom Lenz, and I'm the program director for the master's program in health and wellness coaching. And let me be one of the first to congratulate you on joining the program and to welcome you to Creighton University. And I thought I would make a little bit of introductory video for you. First, so you could see and hear me rather. This is an online program, as you know, and sometimes it's difficult to communicate just by sending messages back and forth that we just read on a screen. So I'm making a video for you so you can see who I am and hear my voice, and just to give you a little bit of introduction about the program as by way of introducing this first course to you. As you know, it's an online program. So we'll start from the start. How about we do that? Online program, 8-week courses. And the way the schedule works is in the fall, we have 2 terms in the fall. That's what we call them. They're 8-week terms. In between the 2 terms, we have a week break, and that's consistent with the schedule here at Creighton that others follow. In the springtime, we have 2 terms, and then a week break in between the 2 for spring break. So we have a fall break and a spring break, and of course a Christmas break in between. And then in the summertime, we have 1 8-week term scheduled in the summertime. So then there are several weeks after that term before the fall starts again. So essentially there are 5 terms that go through the academic year. And the program, total number of courses in the program is 12. So if you take 1 course at a time, it'll take 2 years plus 1 semester. So for instance, if you start in the fall, you would finish 2 years later in December. Just by way of giving you how these things actually work. So the 8 weeks, a lot of times we refer to them as modules. So there's 8 modules per course, consistent with one each week. The modules start on Monday and then run through Sunday. Just so you are kind of planning things out, a new topic will start every Monday. For our particular program, we like to make the assignments consistent as far as when they are due. So we have chosen Thursdays and Sundays for assignment due dates. That may change between courses and maybe some variations, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent. So all of our courses have discussion sessions that run each week. That's how we communicate with each other about the material. And the discussion, generally each course is the same that way, where discussions will, your first posting for the discussion or first contribution about the material that you've read and thought about will be due on Thursday. And the way we have the due date set up, or the times anyway, is by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday. And then most courses require for the discussion 2 replies to your classmates, and the replies are due on Sunday by 11:59. The major assignments that are due throughout each course are generally due on Sunday evenings by 11:59. Also, so that you've got, if you're just working on it for that week, you've got the full week to do it. Again, there may be some variations to that, but that's generally how they run, and that's certainly how it runs in this course, Advanced Lifestyle Medicine, HWC 591. One of the other things too that's a little unique, not a little, but it's the only unique part about for this program, is that 591 is only a 2 credit hour course, and we have chosen to require all of our students to take the GRD 601 course, the graduate level writing course. And so they're taken together at the same time. So 2 credit hours for 591, 1 credit hour for the writing course to make up the 3 credit hours. That is the traditional load for students each term as 1 course or 3 credit hours. And the reason we didn't start the program with that as a requirement, but became noticeable that the thing that made students most nervous about going back to school and graduate program is the writing. There's a fair amount of writing in our program, as there are in other programs here at Creighton. And so it's important for us that everyone get off on the right foot. And the writing course helps just kind of calm some of those fears, get a little more confidence in the writing. And then when the writing assignments are due in each of the courses, then the instructors are not necessarily talking about some of the remedial issues with writing that they've already been taken care of in the 601 course. So that's the reason why we have it in, because our program does rely a bit heavy on the amount of writing for students. As far as the books, so I'm going to a couple logistics about 591. There are 2 required books. So one book I authored one of the books, and I just wanted to give you a heads up on that one, that it's only available in one place. Actually, there's an electronic version that is acceptable, as you can get through Amazon, but the print version is the most up-to-date version of that book, and it's only available in one location. The URL is listed in the course, the group. I'm going to go back and explain this too, and I'll get back to this second. So our master's program has a group Blue Line site, just as there's a Blue Line site for each course. Anyone who's in the program is invited into this group site, and the purpose for that is severalfold. It helps for me and others teaching in the program to communicate with you all of the people in the program at the same time. So it gives us an avenue to do that. But it also gives us a place to post things that are important for you and your development as a health and wellness coach, and information that you're going to need. One of those things is a book list. And what we keep a list of the most up-to-date list on that site of the required books for each of the courses that you'll take in the program. And we continue to build on that list as the courses become as we continue to offer new courses in the program. But any changes that are made as far as book requirements, we update that list at the same time that we update the syllabus. So it will be the most up-to-date list that we have. So that's a great resource for you in that site. By the way, there are also other resources on there that I would encourage you to look at as far as the program goes. But getting back to the book for 591, the book that's on that site where it gives a URL on the book list is the place to find that book. And the reason I don't make it difficult on purpose for you to find the book, but here's kind of the deal. This is I've published a few books over my career, and one of the things that's a little bit frustrating for me is how the book industry part works, and that booksellers generally print hundreds or even thousands of books at a time and then distribute them as the need comes in. And what it results in is a lot of wasted books, because as they're updated, then of course they need to get rid of the old and bring in the new. This site is the only one that I could find that would print just one book at a time. So when you order the book, they actually print it just for you and send it to you. So there is no stock of books there. And that's important, I think, for me as far as sustainability and environmental concerns that way. It also gives some flexibility to update the book as needed, so you have the most up-to-date versions. Having said that, it takes a couple of days longer to get it. So if you haven't ordered your book yet, you need to do that as soon as possible. It takes about 3 to 5 business days for them to print the book, and then whatever method of shipping that you chose, that amount of time to ship it. So that's the downside. It won't be shipped on the same day that you order it, like a lot of books that you can get on Amazon are. So that's my 2 cents about that. That's why it's not available in the bookstore and really isn't available on Amazon, except for the electronic version. And I'm okay with either. And that book is only, I price point it just so that it's very affordable. It's only $9 for you to obtain. So getting into a little bit more of details about 591. So advanced lifestyle medicine. One of the things that you will hopefully get from this course is really an introduction into the lifestyle medicine, the concept of lifestyle medicine, but probably more importantly as that relates to what health and wellness coaching is and what our philosophy on health and wellness coaching is at Creighton. We have 4 basic principles or philosophies that lay the foundation for how we feel about what health and wellness coaching should be. And these will become apparent as you go through this course and subsequent courses. But specifically what they are, the first one we call whole person health. And this is very consistent with philosophies of Jesuit education and Creighton University in that there's care for the whole person. And in Latin, it's called cura personalis, and you may see it in some of the language that's used at Creighton and some of the writings. But that philosophy really makes sense for us when we talk about health and wellness coaching and helping another individual get to where they want to be. That it's not just about exercising, it's not just about eating, and it's not just about eating and exercise together. It's a lot more than that. It's about the entire individual that you're working with. So whatever factors are relevant for the individual that you're working with, that's what's relevant for the health and wellness coaching of that individual. And that's care for the whole person. That leads to a second philosophy that we call relational care. We feel that the healthcare environment that we all live in here in the U.S. and in many other parts of the world also can be thought of as transactional. So it's a series of transactions that occur as we interact with the healthcare system. One of the things that we feel like is very important in the health and wellness coaching situation is that we don't think of things, our relationship with other people, as a transaction. We think of them as an actual relationship, like many other quality relationships that we have with friends and family and whatnot. So for the second philosophy or principle, we call it relational care, and that's how we think of it. Is it's a relationship between 2 people or between you and maybe a couple or a family, however the coaching situation works out. But that relationship grows through time, and it lasts through time. It's not a single transaction where, for instance, you say you have XYZ conditions, and so here's the eating plan that you would be optimal for you, and so go forth and do the eating plan, and then everything should be okay. Although it may be a good eating plan, we know that plans take a bit of development and fostering for them to be successful, and for that matter, they take a bit of adjustment, and that's what leads us to the third principle that we refer to as tinkering. It's a social science term that we borrow from anthropology and others. And so you can think of tinkering as the same as you would think of a car mechanic working on his car. So you go out to the garage and the car works fine, right? But we make a little adjustment here, a little adjustment there, just to tune it and to keep it improving as time goes on. And those improvements are made through reflection and through experience and through time and through relationship, through communication. And that's how we think about coaching, is that this isn't where we write an exercise prescription and then that's it. And so if somebody, and that should be the exercise for them for the time being. And that often isn't the case. You can write an exercise prescription, but more often than not, there's some follow-up needed on to tinker with it. Change this, try that, as you go through time, because rarely do we get it right the first time. And even if we do get it right the first time, circumstances change. That's just the way life works. And so we need to continue that relationship or that relational care to do the tinkering and to make things continuously appropriate for the individual. Um, and the fourth philosophy, or the fourth principle, is something we call self-care. And self-care, I'm sure it's not a new term, but how we think of self-care in this program is important in a couple of ways. First, we feel like that we need to be caring for ourselves as us personally, right? So our focus sometimes always is on others, and sometimes we're not good on the home front, and it's hard for us to be good away if we're not good home. So we really focus on that in the program. It's something that is unfortunately not an area of focus in our current health professions training programs of any of our health professions, or most of our health professions here in the United States. And so we feel like it's really important for health and wellness coaching that there's a focus on self to be well, as we are also working with other people to be well. I want to just make a point of clarification and caution with this, that this isn't to be confused with individualism, and that Americanism is very similar to individualism. That's kind of how we think about things in this country. That I can do whatever I want, and only me matters, and and you do whatever you want, and you matter, and for yourself, but it really doesn't matter to me. And that's not how we think about this at all. As you will hopefully appreciate as you go through the program, that we are all connected, and my health, even if and because we're starting this relationship together in this program, my health affects your health now, and your health affects my health because we have this relationship now. And there's a lot of great information and great data to show that how interconnected we are, and how many degrees away that health of individuals affect us, even if we don't know them. So for instance, as we get to know each other in this class and in this program, it is likely that the health of your significant other, or the people that you live with, will affect my health. And not only that, but say you're a coworker of your significant other, whom, of course, I would have no idea who that person would be, actually would affect my health. And there's some great data to show that actually occurs, several degrees of separation away. And so the self-care piece of what we talk about in the program, and what's important to us, is not to be confused with individualism, but it is to emphasize that it's important for me to take care of myself also in my own well-being. I'm concerned about your well-being as a health and wellness coach, but I also need to be thinking and thoughtful about my own well-being. And that's something that we do a bit of work on in that the projects that you work, especially in this class, we have a big project on self-care. And so part of it is for you, but also part of it is to learn the methods and the process of coaching another individual. And so this is the second part of how we think about self-care, is that we a lot of times try this stuff on ourselves first, so we can experience it, and we know what it's like when we're asking other people to do some of these things we're asking them to do, like logging their food, keeping a food diary, keeping a sleep journal, whatever that might be. We do it on ourselves first, so we know what it's like, and we can speak to others about what it's like to do those things. And we're familiar with the tools, and we have a greater appreciation for the process if we go through it ourselves first. And so that's what we think about when we talk about self-care. And we may get into more of that more deeply in this course. And it's a specific area of research for me, especially as it relates to some topics like power and spirituality, and the dynamics, the power differentials that exist within our society, and how that affects self-care. And then more specifically on how spirituality is tied to that, is some of the research that that I personally am working on. But self-care is something that I have done research on for nearly my whole career, and I continue it as we go through the program, and as these things come up, I often infuse some of this into courses that I'm teaching. So it's likely we'll have some discussions about this as we go on. As far as grading goes and projects for this particular course, we use the grading scale that our graduate school uses. So in graduate school, it's A's and B's. If you get C's, if you get a C, there are no D's. But if you get a C in the program, then you get put on academic probation. If you get 2 C's, then you're dismissed from the program. That's consistent with our graduate school policy. If there is a failure, so it's A, B, C's, and F's, and so if there's an F, then it's an automatic dismissal from the program. You can appeal though if that happens, and if that happens, please call me first before you do anything else, and I can help guide you through that. But hopefully it won't. Certainly, hopefully it does not happen. But we follow the same grading scale, so it's 80 and above for our grading. And as you look through the syllabus is all on. You can print out a copy paper, a PDF document of the syllabus if you would like. But all the information that's in the syllabus is also in the Course Blue Line site. And it lists in there the projects and their weight in the course. And for this particular course, 47% of the points are based on your discussion. So what that means is the readings and how you interact with each other and how you write about it and how you express yourself and your thoughtfulness of what you've read and the engagement in the discussion. It makes up 47%, so a very large part of it. 30% of it is on your self-care project, and then 13% is on a reflection paper, and then 10% is on a survey project. As you read through the syllabus, it'll make sense for what those things mean in more detail, and I'll be explaining those as we go through the semester also, or the term. So if you have questions, if you ever have questions about the particular assignments, just let me know via email. And that brings up another point. The easiest way to get a hold of me, the most effective way, I guess I should say that, for you to get a hold of me will just to be to email me on the Creighton email. As you get to understand how Blue Line works, you can, and I'll be emailing you all through Blue Line. You can certainly email me within the Blue Line system, but unfortunately those emails are hard for me to answer unless I get logged on to Blue Line. I can only log on to interact with that. I have to log on to Blue Line. If you send me an email through the Creighton system, I can likely just answer it on here very quickly, or I can not have to log into Blue Line and get it answered a lot faster. You could also just certainly call too, and I very much encourage you to call if you have questions or concerns, or if something comes up. My email or my phone number, office number is on the syllabus. So I think the last point that I'd like to make is if something comes up as far as if there are confusion or issues about an assignment, or life happens, where kids get sick or something happens where you need to be away from home for a while, or whatever the case may be, things come up. And if something's going to occur where you're going to miss one of the deadlines, please let me know, rather than just missing it and trying to take care of it afterwards. The best thing to do is to take care of it as it occurs, and almost all of the time I can help work through that with you if you just communicate with me on it. So just don't let an assignment drop or not participate in a discussion without letting me know if something comes up. So that's pretty much it as far as by way of introduction to the course and to the program in general. Um, if you need anything, I'm right here, and so now at least you know what I look like and what I sound like, and I like to give feedback to you um, by video, so I might be doing that to you as we go through the semester as well. Best of luck in this course. I'm excited to start working with you. Also within the program, if there's anything I can do for you regarding health and wellness coaching or program or professionally, just certainly just reach out and let me know. I'm happy to help and happy to meet and get to know you. So best of luck, and we'll be talking to you again soon. Thanks.